Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a bit of a shortcut into the mind of a real master, Harry Lorayne. They often call him the world's leading expert on mind and memory training.
Yeah, he's legendary in that field.
So we're diving into his foundational work, Secrets of Mind Power. And look, this isn't just about memory tricks, okay?
Yeah.
Or like pulling off party stunts.
Russ goes way deeper.
Exactly. Lorraine lays out this holistic blueprint for mental mastery. And it's really rooted in this powerful idea that you can build a more successful, happier, more creative life.
No.
Just by organizing and using your own incredible mental resources more efficiently. So our mission for you listening is to pull out the most practical, maybe surprising, and definitely actionable nuggets from this.
So you can really become the expert on your own mind. That's the goal here.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, this deep dive, it's about showing you how that conscious effort and the strategic organization of your thoughts, they aren't just, abstract ideas.
Or no, they're practical tools.
They're profound levers, really. They can transform, well, pretty much every aspect of your life. We'll unpack some genuinely surprising facts and practical insights from Lorraine's work.
Giving you clear pathways, basically.
Exactly. Pathways to achieving a more effective and, frankly, a more fulfilling existence.
Okay, let's get into it then. Lorraine kicks off this whole thing with an incredibly powerful idea. Your mind, it's the ultimate lever for everything.
He really is the starting point.
He brings in Abraham Lincoln's famous observation. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Classic quote, and so true.
And Samuel Johnson, he takes that even further. He emphasizes that the fountain of content must spring up in the mind. He basically warns that if you're constantly trying to change external stuff to find happiness, but you don't shift your internal disposition first, well, you're kind of on a fruitless path.
It's such a core premise, isn't it? The ultimate goal isn't just like knowing more facts. It's achieving a well-trained and organized mind.
Organized, that's the key word.
And Charles Darwin, surprisingly maybe, connects this to morality. He said, the highest possible stage in moral culture is when we recognize that we ought to control our thoughts.
Okay, if we ought to control them, that raises the big question, right? Especially when thoughts feel so chaotic sometimes. How does Lorraine suggest we actually start doing that?
Yeah, because it often feels like they control us.
Totally. And that's where Lorraine brings in this brilliant, really relatable analogy for mental organization. The short order cook during a busy lunch rush.
Oh, I like that one.
Think about it, right? Everything's within reach. Every single move is purposeful. Bread goes in the toaster, bacon hits the griddle, tomatoes get sliced. It's all this seamless, almost anticipatory flow.
Because it's systemized. They've prepped.
Exactly. It's because everything is systemized. Lorraine argues that this exact same principle, advanced preparation, organization, it applies directly to how we should approach our thoughts and our daily tasks.
It's about designing your mental kitchen, in a way.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
And that mental blueprint, that organization, it isn't just about managing your to-do list. It's a model for how our thoughts can become, truly powerful levers for success.
Right.
In fact, the late Richard Himber, successful musician, magician, he summed it up perfectly. A simple formula. Hard work applied properly and intelligently, and thinking in an organized manner must lead to success.
Makes sense. Hard work isn't enough if it's chaotic.
Precisely. And what's really insightful is how this connects with Professor William James's observation about our untapped potential. He said, compared to what we ought to be, we are only half awake.
Half awake. Wow.
We are making use of only a small part of our mental resources. And Lorraine doesn't just agree. He challenges us, challenges you directly. He says, at least try to make the best use of what we have.
It's a call to action.
It is. It's saying you can organize and discipline those resources. You can use them for a more successful, happier, and more creative life.
So, okay, if that's the potential, how do we actually ignite this mental power? How do we get started? Lorraine consistently points to two really critical fuels: incentive and enthusiasm.
The driving forces.
Yeah. Those almost successes? People who maybe set no goals, or they set goals that are just a bit too low, and then they convince themselves, oh, I'm doing the best I can.
Self-limiting belief.
Right. Lorraine shares this powerful story about a salesman who simply had to decide he was a $50,000 a year man, and then, boom, he achieved it.
Just the decision made the difference.
Well, the decision fueled the action, the incentive. His unique twist here is Stop being so terribly afraid of failure that you only set goals you know you can easily reach. Aim higher. Set them higher. Mistakes, he reminds us, that they aren't just lessons to be learned passively. They're crucial data points you actively generate by trying, by fearlessly iterating.
And sometimes, being backed into a corner, that can bring its own surprising strength.
Mm-hmm.
The author himself talks about an emergency performance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, due to unexpected stuff, he had to perform alone. And guess what? It went over much better than planned. It wasn't about perfection. It was that intense pressure that unlocked something.
So create crises.
No, not exactly.
Yeah.
Lorrayne's point isn't to manufacture crises, but to acquire the habit of enthusiasm and incentive so you can get those same results without needing the crisis.
Okay. Build the muscle proactively.
Exactly. And this also connects to the really fascinating idea of self-suggestion. The source describes a simple experiment. Hold a string with a ring on it
Okay.
and mentally suggest it swing a certain way.
Yeah.
Your subconscious mind can actually cause these tiny, imperceptible muscle movements that make it swing, even if you don't consciously try.
Whoa. Seriously?
Yeah, it highlights just how much of what we think we can't do is simply self-imposed. It's based on our own internal, maybe unconscious limits.
That's wild. How our minds can direct physical actions without us even realizing makes you wonder what else we're unknowingly capable of.
Right?
And another critical fuel for the mind, according to Lorayne, is curiosity.
Yes, curiosity. Crucial.
John Mason Brown's quote on this really stuck with me. Curiosity is the mainspring, the dynamo, the jet propulsion of all complete living.
That's quite a statement.
Isn't it? Lorayne tells this striking anecdote, seeing a sports car parked bizarrely, like smack on the sidewalk at night.
Okay, weird.
And he watched as couples walked right by, didn't even give it a second glance. He imagined if the car had been floating in midair, they still might not have noticed.
Wow, just tuned out.
It really hits home how much we can simply not observe, even when something's right there. It shows how a lack of curiosity can make people go through life, as he puts it, like a racehorse with blinkers on.
That's a powerful image. And Lorrayne sees curiosity as the universal cure-all for boredom. Also, a potent substitute for the mythical fountain of youth.
Keeps you young at heart, maybe.
Maybe it's what propelled innovators, right? Edison, Einstein, Pasteur, Fleming, Alexander Graham Bell put it beautifully. Leave the beaten track occasionally and dive into the woods. You'll be certain to find something you have never seen before.
I love that. Go explore.
And what's really insightful here is Lorrayne's active challenge. Take off those blinkers. Openly explore what you don't understand, rather than just passively accepting your current reality.
It's like an invitation to rediscover wonder.
Exactly. In the everyday.
And hand in hand with that curiosity. Well, it's action, isn't it? Lorrayne highlights this crucial difference between merely wishing to learn and having the actual will to learn.
Big difference. Wish versus will.
Cicero nailed it. The first step to knowledge is to know that we are ignorant. Makes sense. If you thought you knew everything, why would you ever learn anything new?
You wouldn't be open to it. And that's where Lorrayne pivots to practical steps for learning. He advises learning step by step. Master one thing before you jump to the next.
Makes sense. Don't overwhelm yourself.
And for anyone listening who thinks, oh, I'm too old to learn, the source directly tackles that excuse. Lorrayne emphasizes, while your interest might change or wane, the inherent ability to learn, that doesn't just vanish with age.
That's encouraging.
Definitely. John C. Lavatar's perspective really sums it up for you, the learner. Learning is wealth to the poor, an honor to the rich, an aid to the young, and a support and comfort to the aged.
So it really is lifelong.
It truly is. Accessible to everyone, always.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the practical applications of this mind power. How we actually think and observe.
The tools in action?
Yeah. It's easy to just take our ability to think for granted, right? We see it as this innate human thing. But Lorrayne argues that this very given is precisely where most of us, well, fall short.
How so?
We often operate with what he calls a wrong premise in our daily reasoning. He challenges us to consciously hone this fundamental skill, because without it, even the best intentions can lead us way off track.
Thinking about thinking. And Lorrayne provides clear methods for getting that knowledge and improving your thinking.
Like what?
Things like being genuinely interested in other people that helps stop self-obsession, actively listening more than you talk, and reading with your mind instead of only with your eyes.
Reading with your mind? What does that mean exactly?
Engaging with it, questioning it, not just letting the words wash over you. And crucially, he advises, don't prejudge anything. Because let's face it, it's tough enough to judge correctly when you have all the facts.
That's true. We jump to conclusions.
all the time.
Mm.
He's not trying to turn us into philosophers, necessarily, but more like sharpening our internal truth detector. He points out common mental traps, like basing a conclusion on a false premise.
Give me an example.
Okay, imagine you assume all soups are served hot. That premise is false, right? So then you'd incorrectly think vichyssoise, which is served cold, must be hot.
Okay. Faulty starting point.
Exactly. Or mistakenly substituting all for some in your reasoning. Like the classic bad syllogism. All dogs are animals, therefore all animals must be dogs. Sounds kind of logical on the surface, but it's fundamentally flawed.
Right. Obviously wrong when you state it like that.
His key takeaway is consistently challenge your own underlying assumptions. Don't just accept them.
Okay, that immediately makes me think of advertising. Mass advertising seems to prey on these logical shortcuts all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Prime example.
Lorayne unpacks it with that classic example. Joe Jones is a famous movie star. Joe Jones smokes Brand X cigarettes. Therefore, Brand X must be a very good cigarette.
The implied endorsement fallacy. It's an obvious logical leap, but
Yeah.
one we often unconsciously make.
Or think about common advertising claims like secret chemicals in products when, any competitor can use them, or boasting no abrasives in toothpaste when most don't use harmful abrasives anyway.
It's playing on assumptions or lack of specific knowledge.
Right. Lorayne encourages you to constantly question these things. Don't just take claims for granted because they're repeated loudly or often.
And that leads right into self-correction. That
Yeah.
becomes vital. Lorayne suggests examining these thinking cliches we all use. And maybe even more importantly, admitting when you're wrong.
Oof, that can be hard.
It can be. But what's really insightful here is his own anecdote from his memory act. He realized that when he occasionally made a mistake and just laughed at himself, the audience actually enjoyed the performance more.
Really? Not less?
More. It wasn't about projecting this image of perfection. It was about genuine human connection, humility. The book flat out states, it's not wrong to admit you're wrong.
Okay.
And he frames it as the very first sign that you're genuinely starting to think for yourself.
Huh. That's a powerful shift, isn't it? Moving from being afraid of being wrong to seeing it as, like, a sign of progress.
Exactly. And thinking effectively is also deeply tied to observation and memory. Lorayne tells us, too many of us see but rarely observe.
See, but don't observe.
And you can't remember what you haven't truly observed in the first place, right?
Makes sense. Garbage in, garbage out, mentally speaking.
Sort of, yeah. He even gives you a little challenge, something to try right now, maybe. Look at the phrase, trees in the forest. Did you notice the repeated
Hang
DI?
on. Oh. Wow, no, I didn't initially. Let's see. It's a simple, really striking way to show how our brains often just gloss over details if we're not actively, consciously observing.
Okay, point taken. We're on autopilot a lot.
We are. So to improve this, Lorayne offers concrete observation exercises, like challenge yourself. Quickly scan a room, then try to list objects from memory, or recall the stores on a street after you've walked past them.
So active practice.
Right. These aren't just, parlor tricks. They're practical habits that train you to look with more attention, more awareness. It's about turning observation into a default setting, not an effort.
And speaking of habits, Lorayne says the ultimate goal in mental efficiency is doing things habitually, making the good stuff automatic.
That's the ideal, yeah.
But changing habits, as we all know,
Mm-hmm.
not easy. Mark Twain had that great line, a habit cannot be tossed out the window. It must be coaxed down the stairs a step at a time.
Love that quote. And Lorayne explains various methods for habit change, really emphasizing the role of conscious concentration.
So focus is key. Focus and persistence. Now, he does acknowledge that some really deep-seated subconscious habits, like, say, stammering, might genuinely benefit from a trained psychologist.
Okay.
But he strongly encourages you to try many methods yourself first. The key, he asserts, is consistent effort. Even with small incremental changes, you gradually coax that habit down the stairs, overcoming old patterns and building new, more effective ones.
Step by step. Okay, moving on then to navigating life's inevitable challenges. Lorayne talks about how we deal with external pressures, emotional states.
Right, the mental resilience aspect.
A crucial point he makes is about trust. You must trust others if you want to succeed. That might seem counterintuitive to some.
especially in a cynical world.
Exactly. He also pushes back against relying only on faith without matching action. He cautions against those blue sky books that just preach belief without effort. The core message seems clear. Faith is important, sure, but the Lord helps those who help themselves. It's about combining that inner conviction with actual outer effort.
Indeed. And Lorayne offers practical advice for living in, well, an imperfect world. He emphasizes that cynicism. It's ultimately self-isolating.
Cuts you off.
Right. Trusting others, especially competent professionals when you need help, is often the most effective way to solve complex problems. He shares this personal story
Oh, yeah.
about worrying constantly about his car being stolen from a parking lot, just fixated on it, even though the odds were incredibly low, and it completely ruined his evening at the theater.
Oh, man, I've done that. Let worry hijack the present moment.
We all have. And his anecdote really raises that important question for you. How often do we allow these improbable worries to genuinely ruin real present experiences that we could otherwise be enjoying?
It's a good question to ask ourselves. Our minds can conjure such vivid anxieties.
They really can.
And speaking of worry, Lorayne offers a maybe surprising antidote or perspective. Most things you worry about never actually happen.
Statistically, yeah.
He suggests you can prove this to yourself. Try it. List your top worries from, say, a year ago. You'll probably struggle to even recall many of them. And those you do remember, often they weren't nearly as bad as you feared, or they just fizzled out, never materialized.
It really brings to mind that profound Chinese proverb.
Which one?
You cannot prevent the birds of sorrow from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from building nests in your hair.
Ah, I like that. You can't stop worries from appearing, but you don't have to let them settle in and take over.
Precisely. That captures the essence of managing worries. And Lorayne offers strategies that go beyond just, think positive.
Like what?
Things like planning for the unexpected. Being prepared can reduce anxiety. And crucially, talking out worries with someone you trust instead of letting them fester inside.
Getting it out.
Yeah. He connects this to the idea of positive doing over just positive thinking. Difficulties aren't necessarily bad. They're opportunities that test and ultimately build your capabilities.
So, action again.
Action. He encourages it. The first thing to do is to learn it, even if not well. Just start. Learning to do something at all is the springboard to learning it well.
Get momentum.
Right. Take that first step, no matter how small. Embrace the idea that skill and confidence are two soldiers who can conquer armies. And don't let one bad experience, like his example is trying roast beef once and not liking it, dictate your future possibilities.
Don't write things off too quickly.
Exactly. Don't prevent yourself from trying again, maybe under better conditions or with more knowledge.
Okay, this is all building towards something. Let's culminate this deep dive with Lorraine's perspective on success itself.
Defining and achieving it.
Right. He challenges a common tendency we have to measure success backward. He uses this example of someone who became wealthy, but started out as a chicken plucker at age 8.
Okay.
His point is, don't assume their outcome means you should imitate their starting point or their specific, maybe unusual path.
Everyone's journey is different.
Exactly. His core empowering message is simple, direct. You can climb mountains, whatever your mountain is.
And this really reframes that whole concept of luck, doesn't it?
How so?
Lorayne is really emphatic. Luck is being ready. He also states, the more you know, the more luck you will have.
So luck isn't passive.
Not at all. It's not about passively waiting for lightning to strike. It's about diligently preparing yourself, gaining knowledge, honing skills, so that when opportunity does arise, you are ready and able to seize it.
Instead of letting it slip by because you weren't prepared.
Exactly. Henry J. Kaiser's perspective sums this up beautifully. Trouble is nothing more than opportunity in work clothes.
Opportunity in work clothes. I like that.
Doesn't always look shiny at first. We see this in the stories he shares, like Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
He apparently only sang for the first time because a drunk customer insisted.
No way.
Yeah, and it unexpectedly launched his legendary singing career. Or Mary Martin, who is known around Broadway as Audition Mary because of her sheer relentless persistence.
Wow. So it wasn't just blind luck.
No. It was about being prepared, being persistent, and being ready to act when what might have seemed like trouble or just another audition actually presented itself as a real opening.
And this brings it all back, really, to your agency, your power as the listener. Lorayne explicitly states that opportunity doesn't just knock once.
Well,
He quotes something like, "Every day I stand outside your door, At sunrise, every soul is born again.
That's powerful.
It's a potent reminder that every single day is a fresh start, isn't it? It's filled with untapped potential if you choose to see it that way and crucially act on it.
It really is. And what's truly fascinating here as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Lorraine's Secrets of Mind Power is just how much power genuinely resides in your own mind
Right under our noses, so to speak.
and how remarkably accessible these secrets actually are. The journey to mental mastery, his work reveals it isn't some elusive innate talent that only a few people have.
It's not magic.
No, it's much more about conscious choice, consistent effort, and these practical, actionable habits that really anyone can cultivate.
So you've just processed, hopefully absorbed, a ton of powerful insights from Harry Lorayne. But, and this is a big but from the source, simply nodding along in agreement, that's not enough.
Intention isn't action.
Exactly. William James, that profound thinker we mentioned earlier, he left us with this thought. No matter how full a reservoir of maxims one may possess, if one has not taken advantage of every concrete opportunity to act, one's character may remain unaffected for the better.
Ouch.
Yeah. He finishes, with mere good intentions, hell is proverbially paved.
Strong words, but true.
And Lorraine hammers this home too. He argues that waiting for the right time or procrastinating because something will take years, that's just a fundamental trap because guess what? That time will pass anyway.
Whether you act or not.
Precisely.
Yep.
So after listening today, after this deep dive, the real question is, what specific mental habit or maybe challenge will you begin addressing? Not tomorrow, not next week, but maybe starting today.
Taking that first step?
Yeah. As Shakespeare wisely noted way back when, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Something to think about.